So good day everyone. For today's video, we will discussing about the psychological and emotional aspect uh, in subject of therapeutic modalities. So before I proceed in our main discussion, I will introduce my my name first. My name is Eduardo Piamaro Jr. and my groupmate members, which is Pabayo Michelle and Samporna Bin Laden. So, first of all, let me uh, read the learning objectives. So, at the end of the chapter, student will be able to familiarize the psychosocial skill and characteristic of counseling. Second, understand the importance of anger management to the participant of the TCMP. Third, understand how important the TCMP to assess those various potential of the resident or PDL which he can utilize to be a productive citizen upon his release from jail. And the last one is gain knowledge on the effectiveness of the intervention provided and determine what improvement or changes that need to be done. So, introduction. So, residents who are detained are basically psychologically and emotional challenged. They share on one things in common, that is being incarcerated with uncertainties as to the outcome of their individual cases. They feel isolated, helpless, and at times hopeless, brought about by separation from their loved ones and society in general, and all over issues that confront them while incarcerated. In this introduction, mao ni ang mga tao which is nawada na sila pag-asa because they are separated in one another, which is nakon sila, na detain sila, na preso sila tungod sa ilang behavioral. Then no tungod ani nawada na sila pag-asa na makalaya, or nawada na sila pag-asa silang kagalingon. So, what is psychological? Psychology is a scientific study of mind and behavior in humans and non-humans. Psychology includes the study of conscious and unconscious phenomena, including feelings and thoughts. It is an academic discipline of immense scope, crossing the boundaries between the natural and social sciences. So, ang psychological, which is study siya sa mind and behavior in humans. And mao ni ang nagkuan nga if ang tao makasala, which is nagkuan sila sa ilang kanang ilang hunahuna and ilang lihok. Then, how does it affect our attitudes and behavior? So, the difference between emotion and attitudes are emotion involve immediate response and instantaneously affect our behavior. And on the other hand, attitudes are more stable over time as it involve cognitive process where it consider other factors such as belief, feelings, and behavioral intention toward the external stimulus, events, objects, or individual. So, ang behavioral, which is nagkuan siya sa atong also in our emotion, attitudes, and mao ni ang because of emotion makakuan ta og direct nga pagkasuko goro, or makakuan ta og commit og crime because of emotion. So, counseling. So, counseling defined, it is a process where an individual, couple, or family meet with a trained professional counselor to talk about issues and problems that they are facing in their lives. Professional counseling is confidential and non-judgmental. So, kung kanon yun na to ang counseling, which is mag-counsel, which is magtambag sa imo kung kuan kani ayog dili ka magpakuan ng mga butang-butang nga makadaot sa imo, mao nang counseling sa in my own understanding. Then, so in counseling this there was a psychosocial skill and characteristic. So, na diri ang empathy, warmth, respect, congruence, and confidentiality. So, empathy is the ability to perceive the client feeling and to demonstrate accurate perception. Mao ni ang kuan which is ikuan nimo siya, i-comfort nimo siya or naminaw ka unsay thoughts niya, unsay iyang i-share sa imuha. Warmth is called unconditional positive regards, while respect is our belief in the client ability to make appropriate decision and deal appropriate with his or her life situation. Dapat kan i-respect nimo kung unsa iyang decision in life. And congruence or genuineness is being honest and authentic in dealing with the client. And the last one is confidentiality, means that anything discussed during counseling session is held absolutely private and not be discussed. So kung unsa may gikuan ninyo, unsa may gikuan sa isa ka tao which is naara gid sa imuha, di na ni magawas sa lain pang tao, ma-share niyo sa lain tao, like that. Next is pattern of counseling session. So natay diri introduction, information gathering, and discussion and conclusion. So introduction, first ana sila na ni 10 minutes. So mo greet the client warmly, smile and shake hands, escort to the counseling room, explain how the session is going to be, alleviate fears. This is the time to develop rapport and assure client on confidentiality. Second, information gathering, about 20 minutes. Know the reason for consultation. Client can start anywhere. Counselor may take notes. Client needs to do almost all of the talking and extra. Discussion and counseling input. So, counselor tell the client what he thinks the client is seeing. Counseling develop a list of concerns. Client will concur or not to the counselor understanding. Priority problems and which one to work on first. Client will prove plans of action to work on aspect problems. And the last one is counselor will assess in mapping out plans. Conclusion. Motivate the client that he can't do it. If not, he may need to be referred to a professional. So, dapat ikuan nimo ang client na dapat makuan niya or makaya niya, because if di niya makuan, ihatag siya dito sa mas higher level which is professional na ang mugunit siya. Second one is when to break confidentiality. So first is children are being neglected or abused. Second, appearance in court as a witness. Third, client express plan to commit suicide. Fourth, client express plan to harm others. So second is in initial interview or intake interview. So TCMP participants in jail are unique as they are not necessarily drug users. TCMP is introduced as a program for the development of inmates while they are awaiting trial. So ang participant ani is which newly committed residents and counselors. Next one is one-to-one counseling or individual counseling. So duration of frequency. So the duration of frequency is 1 to 2 hours per session depending upon the needs as designed by the counselor. So the participants is counselors and the residents. So the procedure, individual counseling is helping tools between the resident and the counselor. The counselor use different techniques and methods in counseling. The resident discuss different issues which cause his or her difficulties. Follow-up session will be done depending upon the needs of the resident. And the last one is the length of the session will be determined by the progress of the residents.
Group of counseling. So static groups or the statics groups, it is a permanent group of peers and leaders that meet regularly while the residents are in treatment. So it is a sort of home group which who provides support for one another one another and the new members of the community. So it is designed provide of a forum. So the duration and the frequency is 1 hour or once a week, and then the participants here is 10 to 15 residents counselor. So next is peer confrontation group. So the group of participations in peers confrontation group are selected by the staff and group according to peers like adult members go with the same data entry of the facility, and some goes with the middle and young members. So the duration here is 1 hour or twice a month. Uh, yes, ang participant Japon niya is 10 to 15 residents coordination. So the procedure here in the confrontation group is first, participant will sit in a circle position. So next is staff may sit just outside the circle, or there may be not a staff. And then next is there is no particular order of speaking. It is conventional and free willing. So next is the peer confrontation employees a three-step model, which is the first is identifying the problem. Next is determining its effect on another's or on others. So next is engaging in problem solving. Initially, peers identify the inappropriate behavior and challenges that disrupted classmate to aware of their behavior. So next is the secrets. So uh, the secrets are group of activity where the participants are given the opportunity to unload emotional baggage, and thus experience freedom from internal psychological conflict. So next is exploration. So in this phase, all the feelings that were expressed are further examined and explored, and find out how it could have resulted in such a way in order to evoke awareness on the connection of behavior, such as feelings and attitude. So next is resolution or the commitment. So after the realization and attaining some insight into their behavior, the residents are now ready to move to the last phase to practice the new behavior. So the from the feedbacks received, the residents involved will now express how he feels about the whole thing and may own up his behavior which has caused the conflict. So next is socialization. So it is the structured social event where all those involved in an encounter will have um, ample time to mend fences with those they have offended or hurt in the past. So next is extended group. So it is a group or the prove or marathon are usually composed of 5 to 12 residents and is being facilitated by two highly trained staff members, and it may last 8 to 72 hours that the participants must have at least 4 months in the program and have shown adequate stability before he can be included in in the activity. So next is specialized group loss and bereavement. So first is the facilitator. it is not knowledgeable in conducting the reasons and managing the time. So next is the group of very supportive and compassionate. So next is the facilitator discusses the process on process of grieving and the impact of losses, mad feelings, altitudes, and behaviors derived from the loss of a loved one. Um, so next is the counselor gives some suggestions on how they would handle the situation appropriately when there is or there was another similar situation to the to the kana siya dayon. No, next is at least session each participants was required to write a letter or to someone or a body to tell about the past and what they will do in the future regarding of their losses. So the women's group. So first is it held once a week and run by the TC personnel. It is provided or provides an opportunity for all female residents to share and discuss their feelings on women's issues such as family and family relationship, self identity, self imaging, societal rule and productive issues. So next is issues to be tackled or gender specific problems and aims to help females residents identify their challenges and needs. So next is um, they can also help each other through mutual supports and concerns. And the residents are helped to explore their influences on them to enhance the self understanding among the women's. So next is men's group. So so first is topics includes expressions of feelings, reveals of true self, dealing with feelings on how to avoid abusive relationship uh, relationship and then family conflict. So second is group sessions enabled each of them identity to express the feelings related to the trauma and lesson learned from those experiences sa iyahang past. So next is the counselor who raised the issues will be the one to conduct it.
Let's proceed our discussion, medication support group. So there are the procedures of the medication support groups. There are the five. Number one is a counselor hold the group once a week who are on the medical and psychiatric medication. And number two is group members are educated on the different kinds of the medical and psychiatric problems and its effects. The number three is assuring on the intake of the medicine and its side effect of the taking it. The number four is a cohesiveness enhanced. Enhance it. And number five is share and discuss how to face their difficulties coping with the disease and problem that encountered while they are on the medication. So next is the anger management. Anger management, there are the procedures of the anger management, the facilitated by a counselor, and number two is questionnaires are provided to the residents to answer how they demonstrated their anger before they came for treatment and while in the facility and how they go through it. The number three is the participants are selected based on the interview and attitude should while in the treatment. The number four is the group is an avenue for the residents to know their anger feelings and acquire new knowledge and information on how to deal with their feelings on the different situation and the personalities. Okay, next, the treatment efficacy and the dissemination. So treatment efficacy and dissemination is one of the obstacle facing the widespread adoption and the utilization of the extent empirically based treatment is the difficulty associated with effective dissemination. So current disorder-specific approaches that acquired the practicing clinician to receive the extensive training in a number of different protocols and a limited resource environment. Such an approach may be doomed to fail. The designing a treatment that targets that the diathesis and underlying processes found to be common across the emotional disorders. So could help to improve dissemination and provide a more effective way of the bridging the gap between science and practice. The benefit to training clinicians in a single unified protocol as opposed to multiple trainings for numerous disorders specific protocols is obvious. A unified protocol will reduce the demand on limited clinician resources. So these are the time and money and etc. And perhaps of it one of the key barriers to widespread dissemination. Addition to the added benefit for the dissemination, treatment targeting the commonalities among the emotional disorders may help to improve treatment efficacy and effectiveness, and emotion focus the treatment may be applicable to a wider range of the diagnostic and the symptom. The presentation, the broader emotion focus that might facilitate the translation or generalization of the treatment from the research clinic to routine the clinician practice. So treatment effectiveness so more closely matching to comorbid symptoms. So presentation, moreover, by targeting the common diathesis and the process underlying comorbid, the presentation a unified emotional focus, the approach might obtain an equivalent or a greater degree of the efficacy for a range of comorbid condition in less time. In conclusion, health psychology is of great importance for human the body health to keep as the living health their the productive life and in life it's the individual as their own unique personality and the behavioral patterns, creating the understanding to having a wellness and the treatment plans to those in need is a great step in our futures. Health psychology improve the relationship, families, and society as a whole by using treatments and the methods to create longer lifespan to those that are the physical condition of our bodies, our minds, and our behaviors have impact on our well-being. As a case managers, I can use the knowledge I have learned in my personal life and professional understanding human behavior and why individuals behave the way they will help me in my career goals. As an addiction counselor, being able to give accurate care and guidance to those in need will be a great achievement. So I will continue to research and learn more aspects of health psychology. So while emotions are universal, the experience of emotion is highly idiosyncratic. So we were not made by the angry by the same experiences, and we do not feel the anger to the same intensity, and we do not express the anger in the same way. We are the shaped by our cultures, our peer groups, and our individual experiences or experience.